All right.
Oh God.
Hello.
I had to mute myself. So I did hear myself. Not mute myself, but mute the stream.
No, that's fair.
Hey, you
So
can see angry puppy Dap. Roy.
hell yeah. So introductions for everyone, just so that if people are listening after all of this. Would anyone like to go first?
Sure. I may as well. Since God only knows how often we'll actually be able to. I'm Dap. I am the lead developer and co-GM of UKRO. One that obviously has to test most of the changes that go into play, one that actually has to code them. I'm the one that has to destroy people's souls when they present what they think will be a very easy and simple change, and I have to tell them no GFY because that's like 200 hours of coding for a minor improvement. No, thank you. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm the villain, he's the face.
Dappy, the giver of gifts and the taker of souls.
Taker of dreams.
Yeah. Crusher of dreams.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's better.
Baker, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. Hi, I'm a cat. No. Hi, I'm CatboiBaker. I'm a streamer. You can find me on Twitch, and everywhere else as CatboiBaker. In game, every single character that says Catboy with an I, that is me. I am all of those, and then I'm also one cat that's named Baker. I'm a big, filthy casual. That's my life. I love making my characters look cute. And in fact, I'm about to change my Fugi so that way you guys can see my cute character.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's all about me. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. And then,
Perfect.
since Noleiel is muted, I will go next. I am Lenka. I am known in game as Akno. I am the guildmaster for Flame Chasers, and I guess the main host for this little podcast. You can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on Twitch, obviously, on HeyitsLennka, and yeah.
Hello.
You mentioned guild leader. I am also a guild leader of Slut Party.
True. That is
Yeah. Very important.
very important.
Well, hello. I'm Noleiel. I didn't realize I was muted until after I was noted as being muted. Most of my characters also have a theme to their name where it's no in them. Either the way it sounds, or if you read it out loud, or you see an N-O. I tend to just like to help people level, and I'm looking for whatever's usually the easiest and most fun without having to put in a million hours. Even though, we're playing Ragnarok, so we're here for the grind.
Alright, and our fifth member, who is unfortunately occupied, like I mentioned earlier, is our friend Quib, who is a vice leader for Flame Chasers and resident British man. So they will possibly be joining us later. We are unsure of that for now, but yeah.
Unfortunately for Quib, it is terminal.
Yeah, it's tragic. We'll miss him. So first point, or the first topic that I believe we want to discuss was YokaiRO itself. I gave a kind of scuffed summary, and it's mentioning it's the passion project between Dappy and Deja, and the rates and all that are 100 are for XP, 50 for drops, and 10 for MVP cards.
I love the story behind how Yokai Aro started. Basically, D, for streams upon streams, was like, I wish I could play Ragnarok online, and then Dappy just was like, bet. Let's do it. Let's make a server.
Now, I want it known for the irony's sake around that, before we actually took any steps forward with it, D had been in the Discord for it for about a year.
Oh my god.
Like
Incredible.
we started the idea like October 2023, and then just did nothing with it for a little over a year. Then the stars finally aligned.
And now here we are.
Here we are.
Bless those stars.
Yeah.
Or curse them. I don't know. Take your pick.
I mean, sometimes whenever the grind be grinding, I'm like, fuck this. But you know,
Yeah.
that's temporary. I think like a great question in regards to like what is Yokai Aro. Noleiel, you and Dappy have both played Ragnarok on other servers. Like, what is the like big quality of life differences for everybody compared to like me and Lenka? Just we've always had them, so we don't know what's in the original. So
Well, I mean, I for a long time I played and didn't really understand how to play MMOs for a long time. This was like my second RO. RO was my second MMO. I played Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast. That was a big upgrade going into Ragnarok, and even then, I didn't really understand what was going on. And now it's like Dappy has put so many quality of life things that like I can't even understand where the original is anymore. Like I have to really I'm gonna come back to it in a little bit, but I really just I can hardly remember what was there.
So it's like a different game for people that have played Ragnarok online before.
Yeah, honestly, I've hit the point I no longer remember what vanilla was like.
Probably for the best, from what I've heard.
I've made so many different changes. I mean, there's some cute quality of life things we don't have because we don't use the VIP system and all that junk. Because I know like Eden has a chef NPC behind the counter that'll be +1 to all stats if we do that. There's some things they have like that that we don't.
But we have it is free to play, 100% free to play.
No cash out.
No cash shop.
Yeah, vanilla is very pay to win.
So no pay to win, which makes it actually a little bit challenging sometimes, which we can talk about more later, I think.
I guess even leveling is such a different beast because it would like when you start off you come in and you can immediately do these quests that like there's a menu, it explains like you load in and there's a window that says like, oh, these are the things that you do. Go this way real quick. You can walk through warp portals. You talk to this guy. He's got a little exclamation mark over his head, and it's inviting and welcoming and explains kind of like, hey, this is kind of how you get started. Before it was like they just dropped you in a field and went go for it kind of thing. There were no quests really. Like quests were hidden. They were you pray that you found them or somebody told you about them. And it was like the quest was really nothing. It was like this is how you unlock making juice.
Oh, lovely.
And it was
Quintessential.
and oh my god, it was so ridiculous.
Listen, I can't go into battle without my juice.
True.
Like I noticed there's a lot of people that come on and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I spent like a whole hour getting through these quests, and I can't figure out how to do the transcendent quest, and I can't. I need to figure out where to go to get this dancer quest item, and it's just like, oh no." So there's a job changing character NPC now.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
Big
Yep.
standard on pretty
PSA.
much everything, but when you started, those did not exist. You walked all the way to another, like you would walk from town to town. Like you
God.
literally had to know the pathing to go like 4 different maps and pray that it wasn't one of the scary ones where you had to go to a difficult, like where there's a monster where you're like, oh, please don't hit me, please don't hit me.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because you couldn't even use Caphras back in the day until you had been to the other location. It functioned as a, okay, congrats, you've now unlocked this travel point. Enjoy. You still have to select the right Caphra in the right town to be able to get here, though.
Yeah.
Not every Caphra goes to every town. So for the people that are listening, our Athena is the emulator that we use. The last free client available to most people is from April 2022. So basically, all content after that is kind of an afterthought for a lot of the devs at this point until they get fully caught up on what was already there to the mass populace. The fact that we're getting stuff for 4th classes and episodes 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, we're eating a lot better than we have any right to be for a bunch of people that do this for free.
19 just dropped, right?
I don't know
our
if it did in
server.
I don't know if it did in our Athena.
Oh, okay.
It may have, because I had to dig a little deeper for that because it was getting pushed to RA sometimes.
And we're not. Our server itself is not ready for chapter 9 or episode 19, as it stands.
But it's coming, so if you're interested in playing, now's the time to get ready for Chapter 19.
Full disclosure, it's definitely an artificial lock in place, because as soon as I issue episode 19, there's almost no incentive to do the rest of the missing episode 17 and 18 content, because the facial equipment is so much better compared to its predecessors.
I mean, it's designed for 4th class, and nothing we have right now is inherently. It has the
everything peaks at
fringe.
3rd.
It's the fringes for like 4th class.
There's like a couple of weapons you can get that buff 4th class skills, and you have to like upgrade them
immensely,
and like grade them as well to be able to get the benefit from them. Yeah, so
or
it's
they're
not
very specific
accessible.
build. They're also very specific builds.
The specific build ones for the shitty builds too are the funny ones. It's like, oh, I could get this, but that's the worst, most garbage ability that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Let's see.
You got a crowd full of ADHD people. We're all
Right.
going off on tangents.
Yeah. So the
I mean, this is good.
And that
if we did want to move in a direction, did we want to discuss the 24th job and like the final jobs for each of the options for classes? Did we want to discuss where we would say their power level in the current state of the server are right now, or do we want to maybe talk about the server itself a little more? What are the thoughts on that?
I think the classes is a good topic because that is basically the game, right? So it's talking about the server, the state of the classes, and a lot of people maybe aren't familiar with 4th classes.
Okay.
they definitely didn't exist when I played.
So I'm going to very quickly, for you guys in the call, I'm going to throw up this tier list and then also share it for the stream. So
I also have your stream up. I've
That's
been
fair.
watching.
I think there's a small delay.
I saw your dog pick the nose, so I know what you're doing.
Pick the nose.
Pick your nose. You know.
What?
No, you're. I'm making a joke. Your model did not pick his nose.
Oh, I was like, what? I didn't know.
I was saying I saw you pick your nose. I was trying to be funny.
Ah. I'd be stupid. Let's see. How do we want to do this?
I don't know some of these based off their sprites, but I will do my best.
So we have. I can pull it up as well. Hold on.
Here. In the
Guy Emperor, Soul Aesthetic are
Relevant.
at the very bottom because they are not fully implemented with stat bonuses yet. So they're going to be more garbage than every other fourth class right now. And that's a my fault thing, not a. They're not formally
Should we just-
implemented at all in RA yet.
We should start with the first one, which I think that's Archmage. Am I correct?
That is... Yes, that is Archmage. So this is actually Quib's whole thing. So Quib has discussed this for us because they couldn't be present. They gave us a little document.
Mm-hmm.
We also could push this one back because Quib said they'll be home in about 30 minutes. So we could just move that.
Yeah,
to
let's
the
wait on.
Let's delay it
come
for
on.
him.
Okay. So.
Oh,
we're
look
looking
at that!
Oh.
Lenka's favorite.
So, Abyss Chaser. So. As I don't know if I'm the resident Abyss Chaser main, but I definitely have. I think that's been kind of pushed onto me. Abyss Chaser is an interesting. Abyss Chaser is a very interesting class right now in the current state. So because we don't have access to episode 819, I feel that Abyss Chaser is very kneecapped at the moment, without like heavy investment. Depending on how we decide to implement Glacial Gear, Abyss Chaser could actually become like a very accessible class or very grindy class. The biggest issues with Abyss Chaser is that you, at the moment, in the current state of the server, you are shoehorned into magic damage, like hard. Like you.
Even with the new skills that were re-put in?
So we don't have a physical dagger. There's no physical dagger. It's
Equipment
That you
wise.
guys can use? Okay.
the only one we can use right now is Villa, and that's you know pretty. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
I think once we have access to more tools and toys to play with as a class, as well as access to Glacial and the enchantments that follow suit for those equipments and the weapons that are available then, we might actually see Abyss Chaser kind of pop off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any research into whether or not Old Glass Time Hard is for bring anything to the table for them?
Old Glass Time Heart. So from what I've seen, like
I ask because I haven't done the research yet, so
the
those are the next two pieces of content likely to come out.
from what I've seen, it's better to just use to either just wait for Glacial or to just use Einbrock and wait for the ability to get the full thing, especially if you're going Magic Abyss Chaser. Old Glass Time, I haven't honestly. I think I've looked at some stuff for it, and I didn't see anything that really stood out to me for Abyss Chaser. And that's not even like me just looking at it from like a Magic standpoint. It was just I just didn't really. We might have like a weapon option in there, but it might not be as crazy as it might be for some other classes. Abyss Chaser has, in my opinion, a issue with the weapons it's presented are either really good or they're really bad. Like there's no real middle ground. There's like acceptable options, but they're weighted towards the bad end of the spectrum when it comes to their weapons.
Okay.
In the current state of things.
I don't think Old Glass Time drops any weapons.
Oh really? That would explain even more then.
Yes, it would.
They do.
Me genuinely not knowing.
There's cards and boots that you can get from it.
The
that have
boots.
slots on it.
The boots. The issue with the boots is that you can just get Wolf Gear exist, and
Yeah.
the enchantments from Wolf Gear and the set bonuses is just so much better for Abyss Chaser than Temporal, unless you're running a specific armor set for it, obviously. Thanatos AD Dagger. What? Off the top of my head, I don't remember what that was. Let me just quickly.
What was the other instance you said was coming, Dappy?
Abyss 04. And for that matter, Odin Temple.
So,
too.
okay, my issue with Thanatos AD Dagger is that it's
That.
good, Eula, but it doesn't go anywhere with itself. I don't think it has an upgrade, if I recall correctly. And just there's other options, and I don't think it has enchantments either. But I would say it is a good option if you don't want to get the other things, if that's somehow more accessible for you. I will say for power level of an Abyss Chaser, I would actually put it decently. Even right now, I would put it no lower than B. But that's mostly just due to a lack of tools. I think in the future we will potentially see Abyss Chasers go up just because of how much consistent damage they can do, especially if they get even only like a half decent luck when it comes to their procs.
It's also a fun class, I think, is an important thing to remember. Like, the way it works is a very unique to this MMO, with it copying spells and things like that.
Yeah,
that's really
that
cool.
Too. And also just the auto cast ability. Until I can't really speak for physical chasers, obviously, just because we don't have access to the tools for that. But it's definitely something I personally will be looking into once we have access to more options for the class. But for now, I would definitely say it's at the moment sitting at maybe B at its peak, but it takes a lot to get there.
There are also options for like physical skill copies as well, right?
Yes, you can.
When it becomes more available.
The the auto cast, I believe, doesn't work on a lot of physical abilities, which is the issue.
Okay.
Next, I believe that is Dragon Knight.
No, that is the Biola.
Oh, that's Biola.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Me and Noleiel can definitely talk about this one.
The floor is all yours.
Pocket Sand.
Pocket Sand all day long.
It's great.
I really wish that so also suffering from gear and that kind of thing is Mayhemic Thorns, which in things that I have looked into, in the same sense that you're kind of pigeonholed into using cart cannon as for genetic, they move you into Mayhemic Thorns, which is great, and it scales in a really fun way. It has a huge range, it's 9x9, but you can't do. It's really hard to find the physical range damage that it does. You can do magical range as well with the elemental bottles, and it still does a lot of damage. But you lose a lot of the potency that you could have. That it seems like you more likely have when you use just explosion powder and mysterious dust. Because those are straight up physical and scale off of the power skill, the power trait. Whereas Mayhemic Thorns goes off of crit partially. Like, its base damage is based on power, but like crit
it wants the crit.
Effect on it. And it can crit. And if you get really good crit, it will crit consistently. And for some reason it doesn't even crit like regularly. Like, it crits way more than it normally would, than what you're expecting. So it becomes, this is what it should be. Things like the Biolabs headgear and things like that, they're all geared towards cart cannon.
Yeah.
Cart cannon just it doesn't scale. It doesn't scale in a way.
It doesn't go up very well in the fourth class at all. It's not a third. It's a third class skill that does not improve with the fourth class at all.
To be fair, a lot of Biolabs,
it's so much work.
A lot of Biolabs gear is it's more of a stat stick than anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but also there's some classes that in their fourth class it improves the stuff up in the third class. Viola doesn't have that. The only thing they improve from the third class is the homunculuses themselves, because those get to evolve higher. I would say it's a solid A. The only thing is, like, if it's going to be your first class, you have to get through merchant, you have to get through genetic, and it's a lot of farming and leveling your homunculus, or just like bulldozing your way through until you get to fourth class. But Oh my god, Cart Boost is the best, sexiest ability that's ever
Oh
existed in
my
this
gosh,
game.
it's addicting. You never
What
want to
if
go
you-
anywhere with anything else.
You play a Biolo or a Genetic with Cart Boost, and you'll be like, why the fuck am I playing any other class? Like, you feel like you're in molasses.
Especially if you're like, I'm still running around, all my buffs are gone, but it's okay. And then cart boost drops, and you're like, it's like
I'm speed.
It's
like
shot in the
5
leg.
times speed. It's so crazy.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
nuts.
you're
It's
faster
so
than
good.
Pekos. You're faster than the
Also-
Pekos and the Dragon Knights and all of them. You're actually faster. It's a speed that's above them. And
Also,
it's
look
just
at that drip. Immaculate.
True.
Plus,
It's got good drip.
By the way, we have what? Is it 1,300 colors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's another improvement. We have a lot of palettes,
It's just a million colors for like alternate colors and
including Dappy's favorite Forbidden palette.
What, negative 256 or whatever it is?
I believe it's 288 or 281.
I was thinking the weird lava glitch one.
That's the one
that
I'm thinking of.
hurts everyone's eye. It's like in the one
And
somethings.
we'll eventually be getting an overhaul on the palette pack. The palette's
That's exciting.
more expensive than the client was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because they're all hand done, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll probably be a
Yeah,
while.
that makes sense.
That'll be what I'm kind of plotting in my brain is there's still, a desire / community around this game at its 1 year mark. That'll probably be my present to the server.
Hell yeah.
'Cause that is
I
a
think-
Everybody hold out.
chunky investment if everybody, gets bored with this and quits in 3 months.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That was my original hesitance with the client update, but when I saw how much 4th class stuff was unavailable unless we did that, I'm like, no, we'll invest into this at least, make sure that we have everything available possible.
so Bilu and A? Or Biolo and A?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
I would even say I would say B. Mostly because we're just not. I for the same reasons that you would put Abyss Chaser there. It's missing gear. It's missing gear that could be a lot better. Unfortunately, I also feel like while you did get the Homunculus update, that was intended for genetic. I feel like besides the buff that you can get from a different couple homunculi, S homunculi, it's still geared towards the genetic and does not reach your 4th class buffs or anything like that. Where like I can outdamage I can let my homunculus wail on these things for like 5 minutes and it'll still not get anywhere, and I can kill something and like I can kill the same thing in 2 hits. And so if they're not there for damage and they're only there for buffs, they're kind of more of a trophy.
Now, see, both of the you're talking about the homunculi themselves,
Yeah.
or the summons too. No,
The summons the summons add buffs.
I would, yeah, I'd still leave it in what is now strong was A, simply because you guys hurt everything you touch nonetheless.
Broken.
Once
the
you're
bad
at 4th
kind.
class, and honestly, the movement speed buff alone. If
That's why I was
I'd say
considering.
the arguments. If anything,
Mm.
I would say the arguments you made are why it's not busted.
Yeah, because I'm considering not just like the raw damage, but also just like
Utility.
how the utility, how it plays, how accessible it is. If it wasn't for all the farming, the leveling with the homunculus, and the fact that like it doesn't have a lot of 4th class support, genetics still with the speed and how easy it is to play, it makes it really strong. Like there's not a lot of thought that goes into pocket sand, and I can kill.
Head empty.
Like, I can't do MVP killing on my Biolo, but I can do almost everything else.
That's true. Yeah, it does make farming a lot faster as well with the cart boost. Are we?
Yeah.
Are you trying to split how easy it is to actually level a class
So
with this kind of tiers?
so these tiers are basically, if at as a fourth class job, like basically like how strong are they in the current state of like how things are, like if you were in there, like would you be like, oh, like this is something that's going to do a lot of damage really easily with like very little effort, or is it something that's going to do that does damage but it's like a it's not ease of access, it's just where's the ceiling right now for these for the jobs.
Oh, okay, that helps.
That's where this one is.
Then
And then the other tier list I would want to do late after this is the how high is the floor rather than how high is the ceiling. So like how hard is it to get things rolling on these classes?
Okay.
Okay, then yeah, I'd agree with what Dappy said about where Biolo stands.
Next, I believe this is Cardinal.
Cardinal. I think it's a solid strong. We've seen what Max can do with it.
And it is heavy. It's with pretty decent investment. And I mean, he is rocking Grayscare still, and that does upset me a little bit. But it's definitely not being.
This is the ceiling.
It's definitely not being.
Cardinal's ceiling is busted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if the ceiling, because it can heal itself, it can do a lot of defense and stuff like that. It has a lot of survivability. And honestly, the fact that it can handle Niffleheim on its own is insanity.
And from a PvP standpoint, it's the only class right now that, even with our reductions down to 0.25% total damage, if Max is fully buffed
Die.
and manages to land Lex Eterna on you, you're still taking 6-figure damage.
Ew.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's
gross.
I think it could be no lower than strong because it's not being held back by anything right now, content wise. Like
like if you're literally just
damage
running
version.
around in Noblesse and the most basic junk you find around, Divinus Floss is still going to hurt.
Its only weakness is things that resist holy, really, and even then, that just
And
makes
Golden
it not
Teeth Bug.
as strong.
and Golden Teeth Bug.
Oh,
But,
and Golden Teeth Bug. It's holding the ground.
It really, the quickest way to middle finger Max is just put on Golden Teeth.
yeah.
He can do nothing to you at that point, and he'll be the first to admit
Gonna
it.
go farm Golden Teeth Bug.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, we just general consensus busted strong, if not outright busted.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I believe this is
Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight.
Yeah,
I think it's strong. I think that there's a lack.
Really?
I haven't played a lot of it, but there's not a at least from what the discussion I've seen, there's problems with like Dragon Breath, and there's not a lot of support for some of their fourth skills gear wise. I think they do really good damage, and I think they're very easy to play. But I think that if you try to maximize your Dragon Knight, you're still not doing anywhere near what Cardinals are doing.
Okay.
So, I will agree with that.
Pretty crazy damage.
I will agree with that for an overall. To provide an answer to the current state of the game, I need to see one of our better Dragon Knights in PvP after this most recent version of the change.
That's true. That's kind of why I want
Where
to
we
do.
switched where the positioning of the GVG reduction is, because one of the things that made me go ahead and do one more server reboot and move this is Servant Weapon on them is still broken.
Oh.
An auto attacking one where it fell in the formula before, I'd get hit for like 250, 300 damage regular crits at the 0.01, but then Servant Weapon would get off, and that would skyrocket to 40k. At
Oh, wow.
0.01%. So I need to see where it is now that we have placed it before everything else, and now let cards and everything do their part around it. So I'd say, yeah, there's a case for it's definitely not less than strong.
Okay. Strong it is.
Like across the board.
It's not being held back. That's like the main thing.
The only build that's really being held back is Dragon's Breath.
But that's just because it's broken.
We have a server specific thing that we're going to do.
Okay. And then next,
which is we're going to actually let cards start affecting that.
okay. This
Oh.
is Hyper Novice.
My child's hyper novice.
From
Uh,
what I've seen,
Economists.
We need a meme here.
it's a class. And it's not a bad
They're
one,
really versatile.
but
They are
They have
the
their
blue
own
mages.
yeah, they just don't. I wouldn't call them broken, as in like the bad kind, but they're definitely weak and they're held back, and that's just based
Yeah,
off
I
of like
think so.
they don't do any one thing incredibly well.
Now, since they actually have their full suite of skills finally, the fact they have a free 50,000 health buff,
That is wild.
it's insane.
The amount of health that you can get out of it, like it's survivable, but we're talking about like damage and the ceiling. I don't think that's there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much damage. Like, I think V is my biggest knowledge. Like the person I think has the most knowledge on it.
for sure, absolutely.
I don't think you have the ability to go magic very well with gear that's around.
No, I think
Like, it just does not feel good.
I think it's also kind of quartered into physical. The only other V and I believe it's Honduras are the two who I would say
That's right. Yeah.
biggest hyper novices. V's a psychopath because they they got that to 275.
Mm-hmm. Back in
Second, right?
275 in this
Second.
server, yep.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them also talking about there's like a lot of problem with like certain gear availability for novices at the moment.
Which is crazy
So
because
they're definitely being held back a bit.
Soul Link too, allowing you to use a lot of different weapons and gear as well.
So maybe like neutral,
Neutral.
I think, for that.
Okay. All right. Next, this looks like
Elemental Master. Busted, in my
Busted.
opinion. It's fucking gross, man. The stuff that they can do is insane.
I can't even justifiably argue with anything being said.
It's just, they have summons, they got really strong magic, they can get some really nasty quick spells off. So it's like, who cares about cast time? And they have a lot of like self-defense that they can do in there as well. They're really good.
And they're one of the few classes that can overcome Golden Thief Bug.
That's yeah.
Yeah. Who was it that was like, literally, I don't care if you have Golden Thief Bug, you're dying?
I think
Was that Quib?
that was Quib, but I think that was related to. Oh wait, yeah, you're right. Actually, I think it was. Yeah, Quib was talking about that because they can disable it.
Mhm.
I think. I don't think it's held back by anything that's in the like any server restraints that we have right now, like gear or anything. Cards maybe, but like, in my opinion, in the server right now, cards are very like last thing that you worry about with your build.
Cards or enchants, depends.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff available for magic, and while there may not be things that buff their specific spells, you can get a lot of things that boost specific elemental damage and your magic attack as a base. I don't think they're hurting anywhere.
So just strong.
Oh, I think they're busted, personally.
busted?
I think the Elemental Master is busted.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
They can do
Is there-
a lot of damage with very little investment.
And their summons can do a lot of, like, utility things, because I think it's their Wind one is the one that makes it where they basically can instant cast everything, because it reduces their variable cast time.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it gets bonkers. You don't see a lot of people playing them because I gotta admit, playing through Sage is
Miserable.
like pulling teeth. It's miserable because you used to be a class that was like meant to help buff other people. So you're like, I'm gonna hit people with my book, and it's like this is pain.
So going back to, well, I guess I'll return to it when we get to ease of leveling. Remind me to talk to you about that, because that was actually a lot easier than you might think, with a little bit of help.
That's true.
Once you got Psychic Wave, we're pretty set.
Mm.
I'm just talking about regular Sage and regular Professor. Like, even just going through those, not that bad, actually.
Okay.
That's fair.
But we'll get there.
Imperial Guard, I think we all know where this is going. I don't think we have to discuss this.
We can held back.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually, I did say it's the back kind of broken. No. Crit build, insane damage, just from what I've seen, even with not even crazy investment.
Variety of build too. You can go physical or magical with it and still be happy.
And do insane damage. It's like,
and you can even do a hybrid and do insane damage. You can have both because it has the sword stance and the shield stance, so you can just alternate depending on what you want. It's wild.
It's insane.
And they get a mount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that one.
The shortest discussion. It's just broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to introduce the lead halter, but I'm afraid to see how much is broken as soon as I do.
Night Watch. I would say this is also a contender for busted.
That's Inquisitor.
No.
This is Inquisitor? Oh yeah.
That's Inquisitor.
If
Inquisitor's fun. It's super fun.
From what if Zob during the last woe was any indication, it's
definitely annoying.
It's at minimum strong.
He's strong.
It's at minimum
strong. He can get shut down by anything that can avoid or dodge physical. But
That's true.
The speed of the movements, the damage output is very good. I think that it's definitely strong.
I think it's a class that also has a high floor to begin with. Just because I don't know. I don't think I could
to get into.
I don't think I could play the way Zob does at all. I'm not gonna lie.
It's fun though. It's super fun to play.
Smart for me. The APM is off the charts.
Bro's cheating. So would we say that it's a bust? I would say it's definitely stronger than Dragon Knight.
It's strong.
It's stronger than Dragon Knight, but I don't think it's a strong busted category because in PvP there's ways around it, and it's probably going to struggle against certain MVPs and other things that may be more resistant to physical damage because it doesn't have variety in its damage output. It's basically just physical damage.
Okay. Meister? Busted?
Yeah.
You can't convince me otherwise. You need no gear to do
Motto
and
armor
damage.
Right, because Motto armor just is free stats.
No, not even that. We're talking Axemeister.
Oh.
Rush Strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big investment to get up there.
To physically get to the skill, yeah, it's a lot of skill levels.
Get up, like getting leveled up and everything else like that. You're going through some of the hardest classes to level.
But the ceiling is insane right now.
The ceiling is insane. It's the damage of a fully geared Meister is going to be batshit.
Okay.
Like right out the gate with basic Noblesse and Rush Strike. My Meister does more damage than my Windhawk with its AP buff active.
That's gross.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely
it's a gap closer on top of everything else.
Isn't it also AoE?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And they have powerful swing as soon as you're in range, which is also a big AoE.
Great. Lovely. Hate that.
Yeah. Plus side is they don't have a real good speed boost to them, because even if you're in Metal Gear and you're using Accelerator, it's not that great. It's only about as good as the Dragon Knight mounts.
Okay.
But the gap closer is really great.
Night Watch.
Busted.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You get to Night Watch, you get invest I think 5 points and you're deleting things.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. We did nerf the Dappy. Do believe you did get rid of the room clearing bug or whatever it had going on.
Yeah, Flicker is fixed to function as function.
I think I'm agreeing with Case here that if there was a tier above, Night Watch would be in it. Because not only is the ceiling so high, but like it's so easy to get into.
Yeah.
I need to know the logic behind it because my Night Watch is nothing impressive to me right now.
I forget what the skill is, but there's like one that I saw. They're like cracking crazy damage.
It's an EP skill. I'm pretty sure. No.
I think it's one of the grenade skills.
Mm.
I just remember watching somebody on Discord one night, and I was like, "What the fuck is this class?"
This wasn't at the time where the Flicker bug was known, right? Because
Yeah, Flicker.
it
The
definitely
Flicker.
deserved its own at that point.
Yeah, Flicker. I think it brought it down a little bit, but it's still like, from what I've seen, like it looks pretty easy to play and build.
As long as you know what you're doing, because there's some skills that look like they're probably Garbo.
Yeah,
absolutely. You just got to look at my Night Watch for that. I'm clearly doing it wrong.
Shira New.
Shiranui?
Yeah, Shiranui.
The ninja classes.
Female
What
ninja.
the fuck is AC doing 550 million?
I'd say strong and held back. Actually, no. I would say weak and held back for both the ninjas because they can do some damage, and there's some like really nice things in PvP where you can like dodge certain attacks and get like a hit on people. But the sheer damage that they're doing, even like melee ninja or ranged ninja, there's just not gear for them.
Yeah, I think
I think the gear is the problem.
Yeah, I think they are being held back a little bit by a lack of options.
Their formula isn't bad. It's just there's nothing to help it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Next,
Cats are neutral.
There's a buff for Shiranui though, right? That I don't think the Chiranko have.
what?
A buff?
So Shiranui and Chiranko have different sets of skills inside them, in the same way that a bard and a dancer have like one little tree that's slightly different. And so Shiranui has a buff that's it's a switch.
Hello.
Like it it goes based on your current HP, and it increases by a lot, like a huge like bunch. It also does it based on your MP for magic.
Is it
I'm not really sure what this is.
Oh, so it's not the 4th class that has it, it's the 2nd class. So the Boro has a different one.
So I'm not sure how that buff affects you exactly, but I do know that it's, at least for Shiranui, it's pretty strong. It's still relevant and significant.
So, in that regard, because I've been playing a Shiranui would probably be a little bit higher up, considering that skill. But Shinkiro is
Rough.
Yeah. I like it. It's a fun class. It's really exciting to play. But the damage I do is nowhere near what anybody else does.
That was part of the reason that I kind of jumped ship on it a long time ago.
That was my first. That was originally going to be my main, and I was like, see you later.
That was also going to be my main.
Okay.
Which one's that?
This is Archmage, which I'll drag to the back again because Quip's not here. We were looking at Shadowcross,
Mom's gonna disown us if we don't call it busted.
but it's. I would argue, in the state of things, it's no higher than strong. Actually, I would even argue it might even be strong and a little
held back.
It's strong and held back without doubt.
It's definitely held back, yeah. I was mostly joking. I don't think Mom's gonna disown us.
No, she'll just kill us. No, but I would argue it's easier to it's less held back than Abyss Chaser, but right now the thief classes are just they're not at where they could be, and I don't think we're gonna see them start reaching their peaks till more gear comes out, basically.
They only really shine in PvP because of their uniqueness of being able to hide and sneak attack and other stuff like that, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it has the potential. Jesus Christ.
It just needs help.
Just needs help, yeah. Windhawk. Dappy.
Strong.
Windhawk.
Maybe strong, but held back.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well,
I would have argued it as a hard contender for strong,
but
until I started playing Meister.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
a lot into perspective. I would argue Noblesse is basically your best in slot until we get Glacial, or if you have
really Noblesse.
I haven't gotten to test enough with Grace yet, but even in full +9 Grace, my aftercast, my ACT and FCT isn't as good as it was with Noblesse.
Okay.
For PvP, it's probably going to sit between strong and busted.
Got it.
That because once you have high attack speed with that, between the Falcon landing people, hitting people, crits, Windmark, Calamity Gale, you can just even with our damage reduction, you can just roll numbers.
So
now, of course,
it's an MVP killer.
Numa.
So stronger than Shadowcross, you'd say?
Right now, I'd say it's stronger than Shadowcross, especially with the silliness that is camouflage, even though I'm at max level. And so you can see me when I'm close. It's hard to take him out of it. It's about as hard as it is to take out of, as long as I'm hanging out near a wall, it's almost as hard to take me out of it as it is Abyss Chaser.
Okay. Dapvhir.
Dapvhir.
Busted.
I think it's really it's crazy. It's there's going back to even like going on to the next part. There's so little investment that I felt like I had to put in to actually get to go anywhere, and it's just blowing things up. Really easy. Getting there is not that hard. It's
a support class has no business doing that much damage.
That's fair.
Can we go back to Cardinal real quick?
I was going to say Cardinal as well.
Because they're still not even like we didn't even say anything about how like helpful they are.
Yeah,
the one class that can give you an EXP boost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's another lovely thing that Dapvhir has.
Before I got the rest of their skills implemented, I'd have said strong, just because rain and everything else are good skills. But God, you level up physical, and then the second you hit Troubadour and Dapvhir, it's an immediate switch to magic damage. And
it's
hurts.
insane.
So would we put both at busted?
Improve the hurt.
Both would be busted then?
That's another lovely thing though that we have.
Oh, they're definitely busted.
On the server. we have skill and stat resets, so like that's another thing that you just couldn't do. Back in IRO or whenever all the other things is you just couldn't change it. And then I've heard later on like they added it, but you could only do it during Christmas. And I'm like, once a year you can reset your stuff? So yeah, being able to change your stuff and just be like, okay, now I don't have to leech this character, because leeching was almost a job, or a side hustle you could do. Like, I'll leech your character if you if you'll give me this card, or you'll give me this amount of money or something like that.
Mm.
It was kind of silly.
For what it's worth, it could have been. You could go magic build the entire way through. Dancer and Bard would be pain. As soon as you got to Clown and Gypsy, you at least had decent scaling. It just didn't scale as well as it did with the
Got it.
Severe Rainstorm is hard to top. As
we can also talk about the leveling strategy, because the pain of third classes really don't exist, in my opinion.
It doesn't.
And
yeah.
The silliness that is their fourth class, like Rhythmical Wave scales like 25,000% off of your magic damage, and the second hit it delivers if someone survives the first scales harder.
It's 18,000 and then 23,000.
Why?
And it goes brum brum.
Why?
So if you survive the first hit,
23.
it does an AoE around the target at higher scaling.
It is
Why?
a 9x9 size. It's huge. Hits through walls.
Yes.
So stupid. So dumb.
It's super fun. That is actually what I consider my main. Dapvhir is super fun. Highly recommend.
So
Yeah, we've come a long day since the class was basically a marionette doll that you pocket followed you with.
Was all you did with it back in the day. It was marionette doll so that the caster could cast faster, and then braggy on the bard, and then you continue your leveling.
So I guess we'll move to Archmage because Quib will not be available for another 20 minutes. We can always have
And share when he gets back.
share when he gets here. But at the moment, based on what
Run.
Quib has said,
I'll be right back. Have at it.
with the current ceiling for like Archmages, I would say it's strong, but held back as well. Because it's the gearing it needs is so cooked, according to Quib, that it's just AM over EM. Oh, Archmaster over. Really?
Like in this current state, or like in the future? Because in the future, I could definitely see Archmage being better than Elemental Master, hands down.
But in the current state of things, I think it's being held back really hard.
Its fourth class skills don't have much support, and while they're strong and everything, you have to get an AP buff to do your main gimmick. The AP gain can be quite slow, and there's no way to like speed that up with gear or anything at the moment. So all the stuff that you find for yourself is like enhancing your third class skills, which are like the instant cast Comet, which is nothing to sneeze at. Instant cast Comet's like devastating, but it's no, Fire Bloom or All Bloom, I think is what it's called.
I mean, yes, but in the future, I mean, that might be in the future, though, Luminaire. Like, in the current state of how the server is, this is just kind of general, or at least our general, like, kind of consensus on just how things have been going. And, Quib is, I would argue his main right now is his Archmage. I think he's working on, Quib's Walter White, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think they're working on their, what is it, a Below?
Yeah, he is a Bilo. He is a part of Slut Party.
Got it. Um,
A well-known guild that's gonna win. Whoa,
Uh-huh.
tomorrow.
so this is just the
welcoming and warm. We all there are daily pretty much in our
Multiples.
group channels, just people going, hey, I'm gonna run illusions, happy to carry people, happy to help people get through. And even if you can't, it's still, if you can get to 100, typically at the very worst, if you were to like go super solo, I'm not gonna accept any help from anybody, pretty much most classes you could do the first 3, maybe 4, probably by yourself, with a lot of effort, little to low effort, medium, and then if you really couldn't get it done, you could do do those again the next day, and then you'd probably be strong enough to finish the rest of it.
I got my ninja to 200 solo on illusion dungeons, but that because that was before we realized the glory that is the carry through illusion dungeons. It was WXP weekend, and I was able to get him through there by soloing Moonlight, Frozen, Teddy Bear, and I think Vampire were the 4 I did, and I was able to get to 200 on WXP weekend. It sucked because I had to die plenty of times, but you could do it.
And that's just like, unfortunately, that's a thing of like, we just didn't have the knowledge. So many people had not been playing for so long, or hadn't been around or just weren't ready. And
Yeah.
once we all learned about it, then it was a lot better.
And like illusion dungeon is new, if I remember correctly. They didn't have illusion dungeons before.
Definitely, it came with what, 17? 16,
17, I think. Yeah. Oh no, Team Rocket's here to steal our Pokemon.
what the
That's
hell?
exactly what I'm here for.
Looking at me.
Welcome in, Quib.
Thank you.
Cool. Alright. Well, you are muted or something, so don't worry about it too much. But that's...
Who was muted?
Yeah, Illusion Dungeons. We'll get you there.
Would you
And
say
then
our assessment
afterwards-
of the state of Archmage being strong but held back is accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Archmage right now can do, like, any of the content that you'd want to do, except for, like, hard carry instances by themselves. It's just a long old path to get there.
Chimkin Donut Bow? Thank you for the follow.
It's an incredible name.
We do like Chimkin donut bows.
Yum.
Wait, Lenka, do you have a...
Notification. I have them turned off right now for the.
Aha! There it is!
Yeah.
If you guys have been listening, join us on Yokai RO.
Or else.
Or else.
You'll catch the chronic British.
Every new player gets a free Devaruchi hat, because that's the rules.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never
No.
catched it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dappy said no. Dappy said no.
What? G literally said just catch a GM and the GM and they'll give you a hat.
I think that was like for week 1.
D will give you a hat. I won't do shit.
He'll give you half.
Don't
We'll
bother,
see that.
Dappy. If you see DM or GM Deja Vu D,
Jesus Christ.
I was gonna
Free
say,
hat.
I'm going distinctly hatless.
Let's I never even cashed that in. Yeah. The so right now, Quib, we are talking about the ease of access for each class. Now we just finished talking about this is like the floor level, like how hard is it to get just any amount of reward at it. Like I don't know if reward is the word, but like how much you have to put in and how much you get out for doing it.
Yeah, I get where you come from. Like,
So like leveling up to it, and like how much do you get out of it just by getting up to that class and everything else,
and getting like
right?
just even decently geared.
Or even
Yeah.
just no gear, because some classes don't need gear at all. as
Exactly.
we've learned.
I'm gonna say it right now. Abyss Chaser is just
High effort for
high-
a decent
for a
reward.
decent reward. Like it's
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and leveling is not easy.
So Luminaire's just said low effort, high reward, Biolo. There is no world where I'd put Biolo anywhere near low effort.
I would say it's effort for high
Yeah.
reward.
It's effort for high reward, but the
Since
class
we brought
itself
up-
is like one of the crafting classes.
Yeah, like you can scrape your way up, but like let me tell you, you have to either have Zenny to throw or something else, because like getting it to
It's the
that
second
level
class.
100 for the carry was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
also-
the perspective for this list is also just like if this was your first class, how would
Mhm.
it go?
Yeah, the leveling experience is miserable.
So
going
if it's your
from-
first, unless someone gives you a donation, you literally can't do much. Off rip.
Make it a
This-
second class. It's not that it. I've actually made a second one. As long as you maybe make it your second class, you can Mammonite your way all the way up to
Yeah.
99, 100.
First
no
class,
problem. I think
first
it's like
class is going to be
2,000.
rough.
Yeah. So
You probably need about a
Luminaire,
million.
Luminaire. Also,
It's
another
not
thing, Luminaire, is when we're considering this, we're also thinking like, for most players who are coming back when for who either second or third job, or people who would never play the game, like how hard would they have to work to get? How much stick do they have to take before they get carrot?
Yeah. And honestly, Biola being in the effort for high reward is the second highest tier, right? Like, I know the scale looks a little bit
Yeah.
weird, but like,
I was
it's
just about to say, yeah,
pretty
it's-
good.
They put effort in and they get very good reward out of that, but it's not the same amount of it. Like, it's not as minimal effort as like Rebellion or Dragon Knight or Rune
Yeah.
Knight leveling.
Yeah,
Like, those
yeah.
classes just level themselves and they're fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Cardinal,
Cardinal.
high effort for.
Wait, this is Archmage actually, right here.
Oh, that's Archmage. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I skipped that.
I would say honestly, effort for high reward. Their leveling experience is fine. I actually managed to solo Illusion Underwater as a warlock before fourth job. And you
You
do
get a pretty
high
decent
reward.
result. Yeah.
Yeah. The floor comes quickly before you like start needing gear, but like Soul Vulcan Strike is absurd. It's very good with no gear.
Okay.
I think you might need to put a new tier in for Cardinal.
I know. No, I think actually for, like doing the max strat is effort for high reward.
I think it's high effort for high reward. I think that's Cardinal. Like, you put in the effort, you get a really good reward.
Speak of the bitch,
think it's
mean
base
devil
batch.
himself.
Speak
Yeah,
of the bitch
but-
himself.
Yeah, it's you just hit the button a bunch of times and pray that it doesn't go, that it goes
Max,
through.
you can't tell
When it
me
does,
that
yeah.
dying in Niffleheim forever is just effort, not high effort.
I'm going to be perfectly honest, Baker, as one of the other people who did the max method. I think I died 3 times to 250.
What was
Oh,
it,
I
high
died
effort?
like 50 times, and I did the same grind. High effort for high reward.
So, Sarah, what we're doing right now is this is currently we've talked about like the ceiling of classes already. I will be posting the tier list for that after the stream and after we're done. But right now we're talking about like what is the floor and like what is the level, like the barrier of entry to each class, just to have them. I don't even want to say functioning, just like doing what they're supposed to. Even like to a
Yep.
degree.
Yeah, Max, I understand that's your point. However, you can still do it more intelligently than you did. I was doing Niffleheim 2 at level 100. I'm not even kidding.
would
I
say
did the same
even-
thing, but I died and like you
So-
don't lose any experience, but you lose time.
So the reason why we haven't just been slapping stuff in, like we know where a lot of these are going to be going, but we don't slap it in because we want to be able to air and vocalize why the reasoning for these things are, rather than just being like, "Yep, this is where it is." Because if someone is watching this, I want someone to be able to watch this video back, especially after it's edited, to be able to go, "Oh, this is why this is good right now in the current state of the Yokai RO." This is not even necessarily just for like the people who do play the server. It's for people who are coming into the server as well. I wanted to have sort of a, that's kind of the idea of this. It's to be something you can go, hey, if you don't want to read all this, here's this video from this stupid person who tricked a bunch of other people into talking about Yokai RO for 2 hours on a Friday.
You know, Max does bring up a good point.
Yeah, I think Cardinal is probably effort for high reward. Like,
Yeah.
it's as much work as managing Quagmire and Stormgust and shit like that for Archmage. It's just a different type of effort. It's the smash your head against the wall until it caves in effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. I forgot that like the traditional leveling method is actually not too bad.
I think it'd be a lot more effort if one of the other benefits for the server is that we don't have a death penalty in our server. Because you used to lose a percentage of HP, 1% every time you died.
Oh yeah, with death penalty,
once you get
immediately
higher, it's crazy. Especially because we also have higher rates, where when you're leveling to get to somewhere that is, like, to be able to get to somewhere that's strong enough to survive and then do other things instead of turn undead, as a Cardinal, or classes that are going up to Cardinal, that's when you're like, okay, well, on our rates, one success is still 50, 100 times more at killing these monsters than it matters whether or not I lost 1%. So even if we didn't have that punishment, it would still be important. So that's kind of why it's important to kind of evaluate how much effort this really is in that sense. If you were losing experience, then it might be a lot more difficult.
We're getting a dissertation about Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight, little effort, high reward.
Yeah,
hands down.
I think it has a very low floor, but its ceiling is realistically it's proportionately at the moment. We have to see how it goes after WoW. Proportionately though, I think it is still a step below a lot of other classes at the ceiling right now.
I don't know if it is. I think that Storm Slash, once we get a few more items in the game, I think that skill's going to be absurd.
Yes, like, but we're talking about the game in the state it is in right now, so that's why.
I mean, I'm out DPS'd by Lemon's Dragon Knight, Levy's Dragon Knight, and Kuchilin. I can't remember his Discord name.
I'm pretty sure it's Kuchilin.
That's Grace.
Oh, that's Grace?
It is Grace. It's my saving Grace.
Grace.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my saving Grace. And whilst they've put lots of effort into their Dragon Knights and they've been rewarded for that, I think that the floor of Dragon Knight is fine. I think its ceiling is also very good. It is less effort for higher reward than.
But if we were to compare it to something like, in the general sense, if we were also to compare it to things like Troubadours or Imperial Guards, I mean,
or
I honestly think
Night Watch,
or Night, especially Night, like
I think that Dragon Knight is on a tier with all of those. It's not only like the damage they do; the leveling is so easy; it does itself. Getting gear together, they're self-sufficient. They can do that. They have access to like unique buffs. They have access to so much just stuff that they have better health scaling than anyone else. They use consumables better than anyone else. Like, they're just a very good class. They scale absurdly well.
So something I think a lot. So Seraph, the one thing I will say is that I think it is general consensus that Cardinal is even if you skimmed Max's guide, is pretty easy to level if you don't take risk. I a lot of people have used Max's method and it's worked out very well for them without in dying not nearly as much. They're not the same level as Max, obviously, but it is a point to be made that there is a very easy way to be leveling
I mean,
Cardinals.
I'm happy to level a Cardinal at some point without using Max's method and have them entirely self-sufficient and tell you how bad it is. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think the class is fine.
That too.
I think it's absolutely valid for people to think, oh, the class that I leveled is really easy to level for me, experience-wise, and everything else like that. But as someone who's leveled 15 classes now, because I'm insane, to 200, everybody is going to have different experience, and what we're really wanting to try to do with this chart is get, like, the base person's experience. Like, if you walk into RO, you join Yokai RO, and it's your first class, and you're trying to figure out what class to do, this chart's going to hopefully help them find something that they're interested in, or help them decide what they want to do based off of how much effort they want to put into something.
Yeah.
So, like, your class may have been super easy to level for you. We're not trying to judge it based off of one person's experience.
That will be a discussion for a later episode where I will definitely be trying to find. I will be pulling, very people who are, I don't want to say notorious, but are known for but known for playing one or two specific classes and playing them to a startling degree rather than more generalist discussion. Like this is a later thing that will be happening. Max, you're definitely on that list for Cardinal. Don't worry, I got you.
One thing I will say, as far as that whole topic just itself went, is as someone that's played far too much RO in their life, hands down, if someone was starting new and even if I didn't know Max's turn on dead method, if you ask me what are the two easiest classes to start as in the game, like, I have nothing. Archer and Acolyte are going to be my top two.
Oh, really? I found Acolyte a little challenging. Not gonna lie.
It's because they can do so much to undead. Like, even if you
need to know the undead spots.
Even if you don't know about Herd Undead being as effective as it is and having to build it the way you do, Magnus Exorcismus, the fact you can heal bomb, there's so many good leveling spots that are just full of undead. It becomes very easy to do with, because again, you don't really need gear on either of those two classes.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with Archer, but I think that Acolyte was a little bit more challenging for me, even with knowing those undead spots. I had some trouble. I died a lot.
Let's put a pin in this, because I think we're actually talking a literal circle right now. Let's Elemental Master.
Effort for high reward, probably.
Do you think it was easy leveling a Sage?
No. I think that Sage and Sorcerer are probably some of the hardest.
High effort, high reward.
Probably high effort, high reward, yeah. They're probably the hardest classes to level solo. You sort of need to be boosted. The second you hit job level 30 as a Elemental Master and you can get access to Psychic Stream and like one or two of your AB builders, the game dies.
See, I'd say Sorcerer wasn't that bad because of Psychic Wave.
Yeah, Psychic Wave has a cooldown and it's got an awkward cast time and it doesn't scale that well. It will carry you through to like 175, but when you're trying to get those last 25 levels, it's not going to kill anything in underwater. Not without absurd gear.
I know that Noleiel has some opinions about this too.
Yeah. So, Yet another thing that our server has that's really nice is the linker NPC, which will do your basic links, soul links, and the elemental masters are under the sage area. And so sage, if you just wanted to like go through and level really quickly, you can literally just go like medium amount of int, some agility, like mostly agility so you don't die to stuff, and a little bit of strength, and slap things, and all of your book smacks, if you set up your skills that you just cast while you're attacking, are gonna go bup 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 bup, and it was literally never-ending stream of
Autocast.
Firebolt on everything, and it was so fast.
How
It was
effective
done
was
in
that
like 30 seconds.
when you got to? Because I think where most people are going to have leveling issues isn't going to be 1 to 99 or Rebirth 1 to 99, and it's not going to be 200 plus. It's that sort of like 130 to 200 area after, you clear your Illusion Moonlight, easy as hell. They have like 50k health. Most players can get away with doing Illusion of Frozen. It's when you hit that Illusion of Vampire that people really start to notice that they're falling behind. And I feel like, I haven't tested it myself, I'll be completely transparent there. Sorcerer probably hits a wall there. Auto bolting or psychic wave without gear to back it up and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think as well, like we were just talking about on the previous class, there are ways to make the grind easier. So there are solutions, and it's really great that we have them so that we can help people get through the classes. But just like the base experience of someone that doesn't know those intricacies, it makes leveling this class very high effort.
Now, I will turn around and say that because I took my Elemental Master, I did it completely solo because I wanted to see how it felt. Once you know Fen card exists, it's not really a problem anymore.
Yeah, getting the uninterruptible cast is very helpful.
Because the fact they can move while casting, you're less likely to get hurt, less likely to get killed once Psychic Wave starts hitting things. Vampire, it definitely starts to slow down around the vampire range. But I still didn't really run into much problems with it, personally.
I think that's, yeah. I haven't done it. I will defer to your knowledge on that. I would wager that it's still a lot higher effort than a lot of the other classes on this list.
I won't disagree with that.
Yeah. Hypernovice. Low reward.
Well,
High effort, low reward.
You might have words about that,
it's
but
such a pain in the butt because you have to go so many. There's so many job levels. That's what the problem is. There's
Yeah.
so many job levels.
99, 99.
It's so rough getting just to the 100, and you don't even have to like rebirth, and it just sucks.
Oh, it's really rough. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
I never knew that job XP was so bad until I played that class. I was like, where is the job XP?
That's actually a classical problem, was getting job experience for a long time.
Yeah.
You just reminded me.
Imperial Guard.
Little effort, high reward.
Okie dokie.
Absolutely. Do we need to talk about that one?
Not really.
Again,
no.
yes.
To a degree.
I would still argue yes, based on the sheer reason you have for this video series.
That's
true.
Yeah.
It
actually had a lot
requires
of
very
trouble.
minimal gear at all. Like, I don't even think you have to do much else after you get your first sword.
Not really. No.
Crusader is miserable. You cannot convince me that Crusader itself is not miserable.
Crusader was fine. I had a great time, personally.
So I mean, yeah. Case. So I mean, a lot of perspective we have to also keep in mind for some of these things is just like, again, it's as someone who might be coming in with not current knowledge or no knowledge, how would it feel? And I think Imperial Guard, by the time you're at Imperial Guard, you probably have someone helping you with the ropes. So I would argue I would say it should be along where it is right now. But I could see if someone who was like, oh, I'm going to be self-sufficient, I'm not going to ask for any help, might struggle with it, like Dappy said.
Well, I think the problem that we're considering is for other classes, it's really easy to do AoE leveling, where you can just gather stuff up and hit AoEs. In Crusader, the big struggle is they don't have good AoEs.
Mm.
But a person that's not familiar with RO leveling or the concept of just, you know, AoE killing, Imperial Guard does really great 1v1, and someone just keeps going and they just go for higher level things and they just keep killing things that are higher level. They're going to be fine. They're not going to die, like, ever. And then in the end, they eventually get to 100.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things to just like. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I have, so this is in regards to what Quib's saying right now, but like I haven't leveled a lot of classes, like at least not seriously, and like frankly, it's just like a lot of it's just from what I've seen and just like what I've been looking at. I mean, IG. I mean.
I think little effort for high reward is fine though, because leveling's only one part of the puzzle, right? And
Right.
We're focusing a lot on that at the moment.
Yeah.
And the gearing.
And
like,
once you get to Imperial Guard, it's just like game over.
yeah.
You're won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got like we have the resources that someone could look into or ask someone like, how do I level Crusader? And you just go Grand Cross Bomb, Glasstime Prison or something until 99. Royal Guard has more tools, but we'll have a hard time. Once you hit Imperial Guard, the game basically plays itself, which is why I'm happy with little effort for high reward, because they do so much base damage with little gear that you kind of just win once you're there.
So really quickly, I'm gonna make a quick definition of what I'm gonna call effort. It's Grace gear and a +7 Crimson weapon.
Oh yeah, very little effort for high reward.
So that's what I'm gonna call effort.
Okay. Okay.
Or effort, just because Grace gear requires a bit of a farm, and yeah.
Honestly, Noblesse I feel like is better, because that is the littlest of efforts that you can possibly do.
That would be low effort. I would say Noblesse with a Crimson weapon is low effort, and then effort would be like Grace gear and
Illusion weapon.
an illusion weapon or an illusion set.
Yeah.
So if that's how we're defining effort, how are we defining reward?
Kill things. How just
Kill.
how brain, not even brain off, just like what, just how little you have to invest to get higher, or to just outpace everything else essentially.
I mean, I would probably. So we're talking with like Grace and a +7 Crimson weapon. How
Or
could
like a
you
choice,
argue?
or like a choice farmed weapon.
I would probably move Archmage to effort for decent reward then. You do need a bit more to get them going than Grace and just a +7 detecting stuff. Like that, I was still struggling with that. I had to go farm a whole bunch more stuff.
Okay.
I think I would also put Biolo there then, because it's a lot more. you getting through your third class and things like that is a lot more effort, because a lot of the time you have to like you can't maminate things through like vampire and stuff like that. But if you're gonna try and do that kind of stuff solo, then yeah, you're probably gonna need to find a lot more like materials and actually go hunt those things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd literally, with my Biolo, I had to go farm gear on my Archmage to transfer over to my Biolo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely.
What have we got next? Inquisitor.
I haven't really geared mine.
Honestly, low effort for mid reward. I know that's not a tier on here, but that's what they are.
I mean, that's kind of there. It's the effort for decent reward, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair for Inquisitor.
Yeah.
It's
You can put in a lot of effort and make them really badass, but like, yeah.
Yeah, but
okay, but we're not looking at to just like assuming we're using a very standardized gear pathing, which is sort of what we which is sort of like
based wolf.
what?
so
No
start
blast
with
to-
Eden. You get your Eden gear.
Yeah,
'cause that's
Eden. Like we're assuming the gear sets are the main gear sets people are going for Eden, Grace, Illusion, and then Wolf.
like noble. Yeah, and then
It's been a very long time since I bothered getting Eden.
Isn't Eden gear
I-
Noblest gear? Is that not the
No,
same?
No.
no, Eden gear is very easy to get. It's just some leveling quests as you go
Ah.
up.
But that's below level 100 is Eden.
Got it.
Oh yeah, this is like pre-level 100 stuff. It just
I
It's just
skip
so-
Eden gear on
Yeah,
every
no-
single
No,
class.
yeah, I don't think anyone does it because we get that beginner gear anyways.
Yeah.
yeah, same maps. I do Eden 1, Eden 2, then I get Noblesse, and then I go for Grace, and then I think about Wolf.
I think about Wolf.
So I'm a returner, and I also didn't get to do a lot of proper research. I guess I'm not even sure how you get Noblesse. So I've been living without that. So everything that
Noblesse
I'm
is the
doing
banquet
without
gear.
that kind of gear. Is the what gear?
It's the banquet gear.
Oh
I
yeah, that
definitely
should.
didn't have any of that for a long time. I still don't know how to get that. I
Oh.
don't know where that shop is.
I'll make some.
I've
new
been struggle busting apparently.
Yes, you have.
guides at some point for like
If you have Grace,
gear
it's fine.
progression, for like very basic gear progression and going through the episodes as you're leveling, and how to do the dungeons and stuff like that, because that's useful information. It just means that someone can join the server and get their character done. But
Yeah.
that's a discussion for a different day. What have we got next? Meister.
Meister. I think also like
High
I
effort, high
also
reward.
again another thing is like I don't want. I think another thing we just slipped into is that we've also been like really harped on like what these definitions of like each things are, but like I feel like it's also kind of a gut feeling thing where like I think we all generally there's a general consensus over like if you want something easy that does a lot of damage, you pick this or this. You know, like there is a pretty general, I think, common consensus to a lot of these things, and that's kind of what I'm trying to operate off of here.
Yeah. I think Maester is a high effort, high reward, because getting up there is a bit, but once you hit that 4th class, oh boy.
I'd say effort for high reward.
Yeah,
I think
effort.
that's entirely fair.
I don't. Yeah, I think you can hit it pretty early.
I think that's fair.
I would side on the.
It could switch between the
effort
two.
for high reward.
It could switch
Only
between the two.
because
It just depends on how you.
Mechanic itself is the high effort part. Like mechanics a high effort part. Then you hit Meister and you get like the fucking rush strike. That's 0 effort. It just
See,
averages out the
my thought process is 1 to 100. You're Mammonite spamming. Once you become able to use Matto gear, you're doing arm cannon until you're Meister, and then you're.
It's important to remember, though, that we're talking about, like, this might be someone's first character. And so Mammonite spam might not be practical for some people.
Even if you don't do that, it was said earlier, one of the things you can do is literally add eggs to, like, 50. And,
Yeah.
I mean, merchant's always going to be annoying. Once you're whitesmith or blacksmith, they have so many self-dealing buffs that make you do perfect damage for the class.
Yeah, and
Equip.
Cart Revolution is very strong.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I think effort for high reward is fair. Like
I
the
think
numbers-
that's fair.
the numbers you get out of rush strike with minimal illusion gear, like an illusion Doomslayer. No, you could leave that there, Lenko. You could just sneak that in. It's fine.
Which one is that one?
It's Night Watch.
Night Watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were so easy to level.
It's.
I still need to know what the
Negative
actual
effort.
skills are. Apparently,
I believe
Negative
for leveling,
that's trash.
Highest reward.
I believe for leveling, you just spam Gatling gun skills and just AoE stuff to death, and like then you can kind of just do whatever you want once you hit like 250.
You do that little pistol thing that you spin around with, and you do
Desperado.
the upgraded version of it. Yeah, you do Desperado, and you just do the upgraded Desperado all the way up until you hit Night Watch, and then Profit.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
And then
You just need to buy bullets, which kind of sucks. but-
Assassin, easiest high effort for decent reward I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, every thief right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it struggles from the same things that Abyss Chaser does, which is just like you either have a lot of single target or your AoE stuff is just doesn't quite scale how you want it to. And I honestly think a lot of issues that comes from the thief classes is that I'm gonna be real, their multipliers are kind of dog shit.
So, one of the things
It's a very
about
weird
these
class.
is like they're going to scale further into the game a lot better than a lot of other classes, especially with upgrades and stuff, just because of the way Enchant Deadly Poison works. We don't have the stuff to enable Guillotine Cross right now. It's not there.
Yeah.
In the current state with, like, even if you go the highest effort route, if you get your Pirate Captain's coat, if you get your Acute 5 on headgear, if you get, like, your
MVP
plus
cards.
11 metal detectors and your MVP cards and shit, you are still being outdamaged by, like, half of the roster.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, it's like Ice Flower gear onward, and thief classes kick ass.
They're going to pick up, and they're going to pick up quickly, and they're going to start taking over, but that's not yet.
In this current state of the game, they are one of the easiest fucking classes in the world to do early mid.
And
Oh,
then
clever.
Literally, specifically Assassin, you literally use the Soul Link and you're at level 40 Sonic Walling, Sonic Blowing shit in Illusion Moonlight, sorry. Like, I went to Illusion Moonlight as soon as I had Sonic Blow at level 10, and I had no problems killing things.
But then it starts to peter off very quickly.
Yeah. As
And
soon
you
as
hit
I
fourth
started,
class. You hit fourth
even
class, you're like,
frozen, it
I'm
was bad.
sad. Yeah.
They start off really high, and then they just jump off a cliff straight into fucking hell.
Just because it's a case of we just don't have the tools in our toolbox for it yet. And again, I don't want to beat this dead horse. So yeah, it's a fun class. You function very well still. It's just you're not going to be seeing the numbers that other classes are seeing until way later.
Both ninja are effort for decent reward.
I'm gonna fight you on this.
Why?
I think both of the ninjas are probably high effort for low reward.
I did not have a problem leveling mine. In fact, that was my first class, and I got it all the way to 200 solo.
Leveling, I was comfortable with ninja all the way, so that's where I'd lean with you on the low effort side. Once you get there, they do nothing. Like, they don't do anything.
They are lacking. They are also suffering from lack of tools right now.
Well, that's why I thought that they were effort for a decent reward. You can get them up there, and it's just a decent reward, and that's about it. It's just always going to be decent. Like, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I think we could put male ninja in high effort for low, or high effort for decent reward, because I believe that they just don't scale as well for some reason.
They don't. It's
They don't have the buff that the Shin whatever.
Yeah.
Is this agreeable? Can we agree on this?
Is really good. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that soul something?
These are the two broken classes that don't work fully. I would. So right now these classes are just they're not functioning properly. If I'm correct, Dappy.
they're functioning
Yes.
fine. They just have
Oh.
broken hit points, and
Yeah.
don't have.
They don't have any of their 4th class like job level
So-
applications. No bonus health, no bonus SP, no bonus traits, no bonus stats.
So yeah, this is gonna.
Your Soul Ascetic is still gonna. They're still decent for buffing and things like that. So I'd say they go into decent reward, but that's
Star Emperor. I
they,
think
they
is
don't
just
really do a lot
called-
of damage still.
Star
I-
Emperor is
I
They
called-
do okay damage.
I have a Sky
They can
Emperor right
live.
now.
I don't know anything about Star Emperor.
I have a Sky Emperor right now.
Unfortunately.
That was my most recent character. The leveling of Star Emperor is actually really easy. Like with minimal gear, I was hitting 300k with Solar Burst.
Oh, is this the Wait, is this the character that you were sending the video of,
Uh,
where you're doing more damage than
yeah.
your? Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Now that character is geared. Like that's with Pirate Captain Coat and stuff.
Oh.
They are effort for decent reward. They do go into effort for decent reward, but right now they're just a bit broken. I wouldn't play them because you get 120 bit and you have 40k HP.
Yeah, that's yeah.
High effort, high reward for Cat. Cat is the best class. It is amazing.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Now someone else say something.
Well, you gotta weigh in.
Honestly, I think high effort for high reward is fair. Cat is great. Like
I wouldn't say they get you a higher reward is the thing. They're good. There's a lot of versatility and everything else like that, but they're no like Imperial Guard output or anything else like that. I feel like
That's fair.
effort for decent reward is reasonable.
yeah, effort for decent reward, not high effort. For
Leveling is actually not hard on Dorum. A lot of people think it does because it's way different than all the other stuff, but leveling and like getting up there was not bad.
And don't they have? They also do have a They have an exclusive vendor for their for like accessories for themselves, which is
Yeah.
like
The gear
Like
is
in-
so easy to get. The easiest gear leveling. Like I have best gear for Dorum right now, and I had to do no grinding. Period.
safety fox.
Um,
You have safety foxtails or whatever.
Yeah, I have a safety foxtail, and I
Jesus.
bought that. But I also have like the exquisite Dorum suit, and I got my accessories. It was so easy to do.
That's fair, yeah, because of the drop rates.
Yeah,
And then
they
Windhawk.
drop really fast, and the accessories are really easy to get.
Would we say effort for high reward? Or Dapvhir, I feel like you would have a better insight on this one.
They're really easy to level.
I'm actually just now working on mine. I've been leveling it as we talk, and I have my noblesse stuff, following my own normal habits, and I'm having problems with Elena. So, I don't know that I'm a good judge for it at the moment.
what on your cat or cat?
No, on
Yep.
his
On,
your Windhawk.
Yeah.
Your Windhawk.
oh, cat. I thought we were
No.
still talking about the cat.
I was moving on to Windhawk because I thought we were kind of like.
Yeah, sorry. We were still very much talking dorms.
Oh, okay.
So,
My bad.
you transitioned and we missed, so I apologize.
No, I
Uh,
didn't double check. But...
Windhawk is the lever high. Hands down.
Yeah, the leveling for the archer was so easy because there's a lot of mobs that don't move.
And even if you don't know what you're doing, you literally can rely on double strafe until you get to
Yeah.
rebirth second comfortably.
Out of like the knight classes and archer are like by far the easiest ones to like pick up immediately and just get to 200 as your first class, first job. It's so great. I would say Night Watch, the only reason why I didn't lump it with those three is because it does level differently than everybody else because you don't have to do this transcendence and stuff like that, so it is
You
a
don't
little
have
bit
to do it yet.
yet.
That's for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.